And welcome back. Time now 8:40. If you're planning on planting a garden soon, we're on your side to make sure it's, well, beautiful and delicious. Chris is here with Home Depot from South Boulevard, talking about some ways to make sure that you have a successful garden this year and also ways to do it in a nice, organic, healthy fashion. Thanks for coming in this morning. Appreciate it. So really the fundamental thing when you think about gardening is the soil, I guess, where everything starts.
Absolutely, especially since we're down in this red clay district.
Yeah.
You're always adding some type of soil, depending on what you're growing. If you're growing a garden on the ground, or you're doing container growing and growing inside of pots or different contraptions, like the garden kit is for above ground, so that you can create a garden just about anywhere.
Yeah, and you want, for organic, I guess, is the best for health if you're going to be eating the veggies or what you have growing there, the fruits and veggies.
Absolutely, you want as much organic and health-wise as possible, just to make it easier for the plant is one benefit, but also for yourself. You don't want to be ingesting all those chemicals, and that's why your purpose is to raise your own garden.
Yeah. And compost as well. I mean, you can kind of do that at home with some compost.
You can actually rake in your own compost as long as you have an isolated area where you can keep it closed up and create your own compost. The Nature's Care also comes with its own line of compost. There's mushroom compost. You can go visit your local farmer and ask him if you can borrow some of his cow manure.
Yeah.
There's all kinds.
If you know a guy, he might be able to help you out. I want to move on to the herbs here. You brought in a lot of herbs here, and also some strawberry plants as well.
Some strawberry plants, especially starting out if you've never had a garden before. You don't need a green thumb. It's a very easy thing to start. You can start with the basil or the asparagus. Mint is very easy, or peppers. All of those are very easy for a beginner to just start and go out in the backyard and create their own garden. Like right here, I have a rosemary.
Yeah, I love rosemary.
I have a green pepper. Now that's going to grow a little larger, and you're going to need to put a stake for it once it starts fruiting.
Support it, yeah.
But then you have your purple basil, and you have your sweet basil right there. Those can grow forever. All you do is when you start seeing it flowering, you can snip the flowers, and the basil will keep growing more leaves, which is the part that we eat anyways, not the flower.
Yeah, exactly. And what about plants? You brought in a couple of different fruit plants here to talk about. Now, is that more? It seems like more of a commitment, maybe, or you just need more space for it?
You need more space per se as far as depth if you're going to be growing a tree. And like the containers I have on the front, you can grow a bigger tree in those. Now, if it's your first year and you're starting a blueberry tree, yes, it's going to grow and it's going to produce fruit this year. Next year, it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
So you'll see people stepping up their containers to transplant their old plant.
It evolves, yeah.
Right, and then they say, well, now I have an empty container, so let's go get a new plant.
Well, lastly, I want to ask you, being the good Irishman that I am, you brought in some potatoes here?
Absolutely.
My parents did some of the herbs and fruit trees, but potatoes they never did. What do you have to have going on to make sure you have successful potatoes growing in the backyard?
Good space.
Okay.
Good space. You don't want other... There's plants that absorb a lot of water, whereas there's some that absorb less water. Like lavender requires a bunch of water. You want to plant less water absorbing plants around it, or give enough space for your potatoes to grow.
So spread it out there with some great advice and some good looking plants here. It's that time of year, so hopefully you can take some good advice here and make sure that your garden is not only beautiful but scrumptious as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning. Really appreciate it from
Thank you.
Home Depot. And yeah, the weather maybe today is not